The Gospel of Thomas. These are the secret sayings that the living YaHuShua spoke to Didymus, Judas, Thomas recorded. And he said, whoever discovers the interpretation of these sayings will not taste death. YaHuShua said, those who seek should not stop seeking until they find. When they find, they will be disturbed. When they are disturbed, they will marvel and will reign over all. And after they have reigned, they will rest. YaHuShua said, if your leaders say to you, look, the Father's kingdom is in the sky, then the birds of the sky will precede you. If they say to you, it is in the sea, then the fish will precede you. Rather, the Father's kingdom is within you, and it is outside you. When you know yourselves, then you will be known, and you will understand that you are children of the living Father. But if you do not know yourselves, then you live in poverty, and you are in poverty. YaHuShua said, the person old in days won't hesitate to ask a little child 7 days old about the place of life, and that person will live. For many of the first will be last and will become a single one. YaHuShua said, know what is in front of your face, and what is hidden from you will be disclosed to you. For there is nothing hidden that will not be revealed, and there is nothing buried that will not be raised. His disciples asked him and said to him, do you want us to fast? How should we pray? Should we give to charity? What diet should we observe? YaHuShua said, don't lie, and don't do what you hate, because all things are disclosed before heaven. After all, there is nothing hidden that will not be revealed, and there is nothing covered up that will remain undisclosed. And YaHuShua said, lucky is the lion that the human will eat, so that the lion becomes human, and foul is the human that the lion will eat, and the lion still will become human. And he said, the person is like a wise fisherman who cast his net into the sea and drew it up from the sea full of little fish. Among them, the wise fisherman discovered a fine, large fish. He threw all the little fish back into the sea and easily chose the large fish. Anyone here with 2 good ears had better listen. YaHuShua said, look, the sower went out, took a handful of seeds, and scattered them. Some fell on the road, and the birds came and gathered them. Others fell on rock, and they didn't take root in the soil and didn't produce heads of grain. Others fell on thorns, and they choked the seed, and worms ate them. And others fell on good soil, and it produced a good crop. It yielded 60 per measure and 120 per measure. YaHuShua said, I have cast fire upon the world, and look, I am guarding it until it blazes. YaHuShua said, this heaven will pass away, and the one above it will pass away. The dead are not alive, and the living will not die. During the days when you ate with what is dead, you made it come alive. When you are in the light, what will you do? On the day when you were one, you became two. But when you become two, what will you do? The disciples said to YaHuShua, we know that you are going to leave us. Who will be our leader? YaHuShua said to them, no matter where you are to go to James, the just, for whose sake heaven and earth came into being. YaHuShua said to his disciples, compare me to something and tell me what I am like. Simon Peter said to him, you are like a just messenger. Matthew said to him, you are like a wise philosopher. Thomas said to him, teacher, my mouth is utterly unable to say what you are like. YaHuShua said, I am not your teacher because you have drunk. You have become intoxicated from the bubbling spring that I have tended. And he took him and withdrew. and spoke 3 sayings to him. When Thomas came back to his friends, they asked him, "What did YaHuShua say to you?" Thomas said to them, "If I tell you one of the sayings he spoke to me, you will pick up rocks and stone me, and fire will come from the rocks and devour you." YaHuShua said to them, "If you fast, you will bring sin upon yourselves. And if you pray, you will be condemned. And if you give to charity, you will harm your spirits. When you go into any region and walk about in the countryside, when people take you in, eat what they serve you and heal the sick among them. After a while, what goes into your mouth will not defile you, rather what comes out of your mouth that will defile you." YaHuShua said, "When you see one who was not born of woman fall on your faces and worship, that one is your father." YaHuShua said, "Perhaps people think that I have come to cast peace upon the world. They do not know that I have come to cast conflicts upon the earth, fire, sword, and war. For there will be 5 in a house. There will be 3 against 2 and 2 against 3, father against son and son against father, and they will stand alone. They will stand alone." YaHuShua said, "I will give you what no eyes have seen, what no ear has heard, what no hand has touched, what has not arisen in the human heart." The disciples said to YaHuShua, "Tell us, how will our end come?" YaHuShua said, "Have you found the beginning? Then that you are looking for the end. You see, the end will be where the beginning is. Congratulations to the one who stands at the beginning. That one will know the end and will not taste death." YaHuShua said, "Congratulations to the one who came into being before coming into being. If you become my disciples and pay attention to my sayings, these stones will serve you. For there are 5 trees in paradise for you. They do not change, summer or winter, and their leaves do not fall. Whoever knows them will not taste death." The disciples say to YaHuShua, "Tell us what heaven's kingdom is like." He said to them, "It's like a mustard seed, the smallest of all seeds, but when it falls on prepared soil, it produces a large plant and becomes a shelter for birds of the sky." Mary said to YaHuShua, "What are your disciples like?" He said, "They are like children living in a field that is not theirs. When the owners of the field come, they will say, 'Give us back our field.' They take off their clothes in front of them in order to give it back to them, and they return their field to them. For this reason I say, if the owners of a house know that a thief is coming, they will be on guard before the thief arrives, and will not let the thief break into their house, their domain, and steal their possessions. As for you, then be on guard against the world. Prepare yourselves with great strength so the robbers can't find a way to get to you, for the trouble you expect will come. Let there be among you a person who understands." When the crop ripened, he came quickly, carrying a sickle and harvested. Anyone here with 2 good ears had better listen. YaHuShua saw some babies nursing. He said to the disciples, "These nursing babies are like those who enter the Father's kingdom." They said, "Then shall we enter the Father's kingdom as babies?" YaHuShua said to them, "When you make the 2 into 1, and when you make the inner like the outer like the inner, and the upper like the lower, and when you make male and female into a single one, so that the male will not be male nor the female be female, when you make eyes in place of an eye, a hand in place of a hand, a foot in place of a foot, an image in place of an image, then you will enter the kingdom." YaHuShua said, I shall choose you, 1 from 1,000 and 2 from 10,000, and then will stand as a single one. His disciples said, show us the place where you are, for we must seek it. He said to them, anyone here with 2 ears had better listen. There is light within a person of light, and it shines on the whole world. If it does not shine, it is dark. YaHuShua said, love your friends like your own soul. Protect them like the pupil of your eye. YaHuShua said, you see the silver in your friend's eye, but you don't see the timber in your own eye. When you take the timber out of your own eye, then you will see well enough to remove the silver from your friend's eye. If you do not fast from the world, you will not find the Father's kingdom. If you do not observe the Sabbath as a Sabbath, you will not see the Father. YaHuShua said, I took my stand in the midst of the world and in flesh, and I appeared to them, and I found them all drunk, and I did not find any of them thirsty. My soul ached for the children of humanity, because they are blind in their hearts and do not see. For they came into the world empty, and they are also seek to depart from the world empty. But meanwhile they are drunk. When they shake off their wine, then they will change their ways. YaHuShua said, if the flesh came into being because of spirit, that is marvel. But if a spirit came into being because of the body, that is marvel of marvels. Yet I marvel at how this great wealth has come to dwell in this poverty. YaHuShua said, where there are 3 deities, they are divine. Where there are 2 or 1, I am with that one. YaHuShua said, no prophet is welcome on his home turf. Doctors don't cure those who know them. YaHuShua said, a city built on a high hill and fortified cannot fall, nor can it be hidden. YaHuShua said, what you will hear in your ear, and the other ear proclaim from your rooftops. After all, no one lights a lamp and put it under a basket, nor does one put it in a hidden place. Rather, one puts it on the lampstand so that all who come and go will see its light. YaHuShua said, if a blind person leads a blind person, both of them will fall into a hole. YaHuShua said, one can't enter a strong person's house and take it by force without tying his hands, then one can't loot his house. YaHuShua said, do not fret from morning to evening and from evening to morning about your food, what you're going to eat, or about your clothing, what you're going to wear. You're much better than the lilies, which neither cart nor spin. As for you, when you have no garment, what will you put on? You might add to your statue, that very one will give you your garment. His disciples said, when will you appear to us, and when will we see you? YaHuShua said, when you strip without being ashamed, and you take your clothes and put them under your feet like little children, and trample them, then you will see the Son of the Living One, and you will not be afraid. YaHuShua said, often you have desired to hear these sayings that I am speaking to you, and you have no one else from whom to hear them. There will be days when you will seek me, and you will not find me. YaHuShua said, the Pharisees and the scholars have taken the keys of knowledge and have hidden them. They have not entered, nor have they allowed those who want to enter to do so. As for you, be as sly as snakes and as simple as doves. YaHuShua said, a grapevine has been planted apart from the Father. Since it is not strong, it will be pulled up by its root and will perish. YaHuShua said, whoever has something in hand will be given more, and whoever has nothing will be deprived, or even the little they have. YaHuShua said, be passers-by. Hallelujah. Thank you, Yahuwah. His disciples said to him, who are you to say these things to us? You don't understand who I am from what I say to you. Rather, you have become like the Judeans, For they love the tree but hate its fruit, or they love the fruit but hate the tree. YaHuShua said, whoever blasphemes against the Father will be forgiven, and whoever blasphemes against the Son will be forgiven. But whoever blasphemes against the Holy Spirit will not be forgiven either on earth or in heaven. YaHuShua said, grapes are not harvested from the thorns trees, nor are figs gathered from thistles, for they yield no fruit. Good persons produce good from what they stored up. Bad persons produce evil from the wickedness they've stored up in their hearts and say evil things. For from the overflow of the heart they produce evil. YaHuShua said, from Adam to John the Baptist, among those born of women, no one is so much greater than John the Baptist that his eyes should not be averted. But I have said that whoever among you become a child will recognize the Father's kingdom and will become greater than John. YaHuShua said, a person cannot mount two horses or bend two bows, and a slave cannot serve two masters, otherwise the slave will honor the one and offend the other. Nobody drinks aged wine and immediately want to drink young wine. Young wine is not poured into old wineskin, or they might break. And aged wine is not poured into a new wineskin, or it might spoil. An old patch is not sewed onto a new garment, since it would create a tear. YaHuShua said, if two make peace with each other in a single house, they will say to the mountain, move from here, and it will move. YaHuShua said, congratulations to those who are alone and chosen, for you will find the kingdom, for you have come from it, and you will return there again. YaHuShua said, if they say to you, where have you come from? Say to them, we have come from the light, from the place where the light came into being by itself, established itself, and appeared in their image. If they say to you, is it you? Say, we are its children, and we are the chosen of the living Father. If they ask you, what is the evidence of your Father in you? Say to them, it is motion and rest. His disciples said to him, when will the rest for the dead take place, and when will the new world come? He said to them, what you are looking forward to has come, but you don't know it. His disciples said to him, 24 prophets have spoken in Israel, and they all spoke of you, and said to them, you have disregarded the living one who is in your presence, and have spoken of the dead. His disciples said to him, is circumcision useful or not? He said to them, if it were useful, their father would produce children already circumcised from their mother. Rather, the true circumcision is in spirit has become profitable in every respect. YaHuShua said, congratulations to the poor, for to you belongs heaven's kingdom. YaHuShua said, whoever does not hate father and mother cannot be my disciple, and whoever does not hate brothers and sisters and carry the cross as I do will not be worthy of me. YaHuShua said, whoever has come to know the world has discovered a carcass, and whoever has discovered a carcass of that person, the world is not worthy. YaHuShua said, the Father's kingdom is like a person who has good seed. His enemy came during the night and sowed weeds among the good seed. The person did not let the worker pull up the weeds, but said to them, no, otherwise you might go to pull up the weeds and pull up the wheat along with them. For on the day of the harvest the weeds will be conspicuous and will be pulled up and burned. YaHuShua said, congratulations to the person who has toiled and has found life. YaHuShua said, look to the living one as long as you live, otherwise you might die, and then try to see the living one, and you will be unable to see. He saw a Samaritan carrying a lamb and going to Judea. He said to his disciples, that person around the lamb. They said to him, so that he may kill it and eat it. He said to them, he will not eat it while it is alive, but only after he has killed it and it has become a carcass. They said, otherwise he can't do it. He said to them, so also will you seek for yourselves a place for rest, or you might become a carcass and be eaten. Yahusha said, two will recline on a couch, and one will die, and one will live. Salome said, who are you, mister? You have climbed unto my couch and eaten from my table, as if you are from someone. Yahusha said to her, I am the one who comes from what is whole. I was granted from things of my Father. I am your disciple. For this reason I say, if one is whole, one will be filled with light, but if one is divided, one will be filled with darkness. Yahusha said, I disclose my mysteries to those who are worthy of my mysteries. Yahusha said, there was a rich person who had a great deal of money. He said, I shall invest my money so that I may sow, replenish, and fill my storehouse with produce, that I may lack nothing. These were the things he was thinking in his heart, but that very night he died. Anyone here with 2 ears had better listen. Yahusha said, a person was receiving guests. When he had prepared the dinner, he sent his slaves to invite the guests. The slave went to the first and said to the one, my master invites you. The one said, some merchants owe me money. They are coming to me tonight. I have to go and give them instruction. Please excuse me for dinner. The slave went to another and said to the one, my master has invited you. The one said to the slave, I have bought a house and I have been called away for a day. I shall have no time. The slave went to another and said to that one, my master invite you. The one said to the slave, my master's friend is to be married, and I am to arrange the banquet. I shall not be able to come. Please excuse me from dinner. The slave went to another and said to that one, my master invite you. The one said to the slave, I have bought an estate, and I am going to collect the rent. I shall not be able to come. Please excuse me. The slave returned and said to his master, those whom you invited to dinner have asked to be excused. The master said to his slave, go out in the streets and bring back whomever you find to have dinner. Buyers and merchants will not enter the place of my Father. He said, a person owned a vineyard and rented it to some farmers so they could work it and he could collect his crops from them. He sent his slaves so the farmers would give him the vineyard's crop. They grabbed him, beat him, and almost killed him. And the slave returned and told his master. His master said, perhaps he didn't know them. He sent another slave, and the farmers beat that one as well. Then the master sent his son and said, perhaps they'll show my son some respect, because the farmer knew that he was the heir to the vineyard. They grabbed him and killed him. Anyone here with 2 ears had better listen. YaHuShua said, show me the stone that the builders rejected. That is the keystone. YaHuShua said, those who know all but are lacking in themselves were utterly lacking. YaHuShua said, congratulations to you when you are hated and persecuted, and no place will be found wherever you have been persecuted. YaHuShua said, congratulations to those who have been persecuted in their hearts. They are the ones who have truly come to know the Father. Congratulations to those who go hungry, to so the stomach of the one in want may be filled. YaHuShua said, if you bring forth what is within you, what you have will save you. If you do not have that within you, what you do not have within you will kill you. YaHuShua said, I will destroy this house and no one will be able to build it. A person said to him, "Tell my brothers to divide my father's possessions with me." He said to the person, "Mister, who made me a divider?" He turned to his disciples and said to them, "I'm not a divider, am I?" YaHuShua said, "The crop is huge, but the workers are few, so beg the harvest boss to dispatch workers to the fields." He said, "Yahuwah, there are many around the drinking trough, but there is nothing in the well." YaHuShua said, "There are many standing at the door, but those who are alone will enter the bridal suite." YaHuShua said, "The Father's kingdom is like a merchant who had a supply of merchandise and found a pearl. The merchant was prudent. He sold the merchandise and brought the single pearl for himself. So also with you, seek the treasure that is unfailing, that is enduring, where no moth comes to eat and no worm destroys." YaHuShua said, "I am the light that is over all things. I am all. From me all came forth, and to me all attained. Split a piece of wood, I am there. Lift up the stone, and you will find me there." YaHuShua said, "Why have you come out to the countryside? To see a reed shaken by the wind, and to see a person dressed in soft clothes like your ruler and your powerful ones? They are dressed in soft clothes, and they cannot understand truth." A woman in the crowd said to him, "Lucky are the womb that bore you and the breast that fed you." He said to her, "Lucky are those who have heard the word of the Father and have truly kept it. For there will be the days when you will say, Lucky are the womb that has not conceived and the breasts that have not given milk." YaHuShua said, "Whoever has come to know the world has discovered the body. And whoever has discovered the body of that one, the world is not worthy." YaHuShua said, "Let one who has become wealthy reign, and let one who has power renounce it." YaHuShua said, "Whoever is near me is near the fire, and whoever is far from me is far from the Father's kingdom." YaHuShua said, "Images are visible to people, but the light within them is hidden in the image of the Father's light. He will be disclosed, but his image is hidden by his light." YaHuShua said, "When you see your likeness, you are happy. But when you see your images that came into being before you, and that neither die nor become visible, how much you will have to bear." YaHuShua said, "Adam came from great power and great wealth, but he was not worthy of you. For had he been worthy, he would not have tasted death." YaHuShua said, "Foxes have their dens and birds have their nests, but human beings have no place to lay their down and rest." YaHuShua said, "How miserable is the body that depends on a body, and how miserable is the soul that depends on these two." YaHuShua said, "The messengers and the prophets will come to you and give you what belongs to you. You in turn give them what you have, and say to yourselves, when will they come and take what belongs to them?" YaHuShua said, "Why do you wash the outside of your cup? Don't you understand that the one who made the inside is also the one who made the outside?" YaHuShua said, "Come to me, for my yoke is comfortable and my lordship is gentle, and you will find rest for yourselves." They said to him, "Tell us who you are, so that we may believe in you." He said to them, "You examine the face of heaven and earth, but you have not come to know the one who is in your presence, and you do not know how to examine the present moment." YaHuShua says, "Seek and you will find." In the past, however, I did not tell you the things about which you asked me then. Now I am willing to tell them, but you are not seeking them. Don't give what is holy to dogs, for they might throw them upon the manure pile. Don't throw pearls to pigs, or they might it. YaHuShua said, one who seeks will find, and for one who knocks, it will be open. YaHuShua said, if you have money, don't lend it at interest. Rather, give it to someone from whom you won't get it back. YaHuShua said, the Father's kingdom is like a woman. She took a little leaven, hid it in dough, and made it into large loaves of bread. Anyone here with 2 ears had better listen. YaHuShua said, the Father's kingdom is like a woman who was carrying a jar full of meal. While she was walking along a distant road, the handle of the jar broke, and the meal spilled behind her along the road. She didn't know it. She hadn't noticed a problem. When she reached her house, she put the jar down and discovered that it was empty. YaHuShua said, the Father's kingdom is like a person who wanted to kill someone's powerful. While still at home, he drew his sword and thrust it into the wall to find out whether his hand would go in. Then he'd kill the powerful one. The disciples said to him, your brothers and your mother are standing outside. He said to them, those here who do what my Father wants are my brothers and my mother. They are the ones who will enter my Father's kingdom. They showed YaHuShua a gold coin and said to him, the Roman emperor's people demand taxes from us. He said to them, give the emperor what belongs to the emperor. Give Yahuwah what belongs to Yahuwah, and give me what is mine. Whoever does not hate father and mother as I do cannot be my disciples, and whoever does not love father and mother as I do cannot be my disciples. For my mother, but my true mother, gave me life. YaHuShua said, damn the Pharisees. They are like a dog sleeping in the cattle manger. The dog neither eat nor lets the cattle eat. YaHuShua said, congratulations to those who know where the rebels are going to attack. They can get going, collect their imperial resources, and be prepared before the rebels arrive. They say to YaHuShua, come, let us pray today and let us fast. YaHuShua said, what sin have I committed? Or how have I been undone? Rather, when the groom leaves the bridal suite, then let people fast and pray. YaHuShua said, whoever knows the father and the mother will be called the child of a whore. YaHuShua said, when you make the 2 into 1, you will become children of Adam. And when you say, mountain, move from here, it will move. YaHuShua said, the Father's kingdom is like a shepherd who had 100 sheep. One of them, the largest, went astray, and left the 99 and looked for the one until he was found. After he had told, he said to the sheep, I love you more than the 99. YaHuShua said, whoever drinks from my mouth will become like me. I myself shall become that person, and the hidden things will be revealed to him. YaHuShua said, the Father's kingdom is like a person who had a treasure hidden in his field but did not know it. When he died, he left it to his son. The son did not know about it either. He took over the field and sold it. The buyer went plowing, discovered the treasure, and began to lend money at interest to whomever he wished. YaHuShua said, let one who has found the world and has become wealthy renounce the world. YaHuShua said, the heavens and the earth will roll up in your presence, and whoever is living from the living one will not see death. Does not YaHuShua say, those who have found themselves, of them the world is not worthy? YaHuShua said, damn the flesh that depends on the soul, damn the soul that depends on the flesh. His disciples said to him, when the kingdom is come, it will not come by watching for it. It will not be said, look here or look there. Rather, the Father's kingdom is spread out upon the earth, and people don't see it. saying probably added to the original collection at the later date. Simon Peter said to them, "Make Mary leave us, for females don't deserve life." YaHuShua said, "Look, I will guide her to make her male, so that she too may become a living spirit resembling you males. For every female who makes herself male will enter the kingdom of heaven." And that's the end of the Gospel of Thomas.